I'm going to, frankly speaking, if I was a member, so-called, if I was to join to any party, I would be very careful not to join some of these parties that already have crisis, I believe.
Including the PDP?
As if I were to join any party, I'm already in PDP. So why you say including PDP again?
Well, you were given an
I said if I was to enter another party, I would be careful. Look into the crisis first. Those parties are not rooted like PDP. They are not rooted like PDP. Now, do you know what happened in the ADC? That's what something I tried to read. Go and find out. And this was the case management as far as I'm concerned, where I saw it. Bala Gombe went to court sometime in September 2025. Filed an originating summons for ex parte order and motion for interlocutory injunction. They went to court. The court said, no. Put them on notice and let them come and show cause why I should not grant this. I don't know what I said. Show cause. In essence, I'm not going to grant anything at their back. That the court has not taken a decision as far as we're concerned from what I read. Now, what did the ADC do? They went and appealed to the Court of Appeal against what the judge said, put them on notice to come and show cause why this should not be granted. There are lawyers who are so experienced and this thing. They would do it. They would go to court and make sure they argue the matter. And then we can go on appeal. But look at the danger. And that's what we should tell themselves. Ask, what is the truth in this matter? Before you begin to blame INEC, before you begin to blame judiciary, before you begin to blame the ruling party. Is it the ruling party that told your lawyer to go and file an appeal when the matter has not even been heard? Just because the judge said, put them on notice and let them come and show cause why I should not make this order. You want an appeal. Let me tell you what most lawyers have been doing. It happened in our own matter where we went to court asking the court to tell INEC to be recognizing us because the carrier committee had been formed. 2, that police should give us support to open the secretariat so we can occupy them. Now, the judge said, I won't grant that, but I would rather say, put them on notice and come and show cause why. They didn't come to court. They wrote petition against the judge to recuse himself. He has not gone to the court. They wrote petition against the judge to recuse himself. And blah, 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 blah. They went to Court of Appeal. Court of Appeal gave judgment. What has happened? In the first place, it's a discretionary order. And 2, it's a interlocutory issue. You must seek leave of the court before you call. Whatever it is, the court has not said anything. And threw away their appeal. The same thing happened in this ADC. And the Court of Appeal said, as far as we are concerned, the judge has not granted or refused to grant. All the judge said, put them on notice to come. And you're also talking about the issue of jurisdiction. The Court of Appeal said, no, the matter has not been heard to talk about the issue of jurisdiction. If the matter has been heard, and even if you did not raise the issue of jurisdiction in that lower court, you can raise it for the first time in the Court of Appeal. That is, the matter has already been heard in the trial court. Blah, 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 blah. And the court gave judgment. Now, the question you should ask, what is the judgment that the Court of Appeal gave that made ADC to go and appeal to Supreme Court? What was the judgment that the court made, or the order the court gave, that made them to appeal to Supreme Court? If there was no order made by the Court of Appeal, would they have appealed to Supreme Court? If the order made was not against them, would they have appealed to Supreme Court? Judgment was given in March 12. APC filed notice of appeal on 16th of March 2026. In fact, on the 31st of this March, that's when they transmitted the record of appeal to Supreme Court. On the 1st of April, being 2 days ago, they filed for motion for stay of execution of that judgment. What judgment are you going to stay? What judgment? I'm coming. What judgment are you filing motion for stay of execution if the judgment was nothing to affect you? Now, what was judgment? Even in their ground 7 of their ground of appeal, they are complaining, why should the judge grant order of status quo ante bellum? Why? If that order was not touching on you, if that order does not have any negative effect on you, would you have appealed? Certainly not. Now, let me. I know you will come. It's good for Nigerians to get all this part. It's not good to come on television. INEC did this. This. You have gone on appeal. Tell Nigerians, what did you go to do on appeal? What order that you think was negative to you that you want on appeal? Because they have not told Nigerians that they want an appeal on that judgment. They did not tell Nigerians they filed a motion for stay of execution of that judgment. Do you stay something that is favorable to you? Do you go and appeal something that's favorable to you? You go and appeal something that's not favorable to you. Now, and the lawyer on the respondent side wrote letter to INEC. You must comply with the orders given by the judgment of by the Court of Appeal. In fact, I must say this, to my own mind, ordinarily, INEC ought to, by that judgment, ought to be recognizing what's it called? Bala Gobe. But INEC is not to be seen to be biased. Now say, look, in fact, ADC should even be happy that INEC said, look, we are not going to recognize any of you until you sort out your matter at the court, right? But if you ask me personally, I would think that INEC did that in order to say that they are balancing, not to be seen to be, but it is matter not to you helping this person or not helping this person. The law says this, whether it is good or whether it is bad, that's what the law said. Now, you now said, okay, let me end. So, okay, you now say, no, what INEC did was bad. Political parties should know that you must put your house in order. Not when you are messed up. You go and hold INEC. If you don't hold INEC, you hold the judges. If you don't hold the judges, it's the ruling party. Is it the ruling party that told you to make that kind of blunder you made? Blunder that may be costing you heavily now. But you won't tell people the truth. You go and bring people to interpret what's antebellum. Okay, assuming you have different interpretation, why do you go to court based on that granting of the status quo antebellum? That is the ground 7 of the ground of appeal.
We have to go on a quick break, except that with all the elaborate information and facts we have given, you have just further armed those who believe that you are involved in fueling the crisis in the ADC.
No, please, no. But before you go, no, because you see, that is the problem. No, listen, that's why, that's why I say you people should try to read. Let me tell you, when I say better, there are documents, public documents. What you do, tell any of yourself, can I have documents? Can I have the Court of Appeal judgment? Can I have the order made by the Federal High Court? Can I have, if the AD appeal? You apply. I have all. You don't need to. And that's when you are talking on television, talk with the facts, talk with authority. You don't just come up to say something, you don't even have the facts. You've not even read anything. I have read, so I can tell you, see what happened. Not because I'm interested. In any case, why should I not be interested? I'm a citizen of this country. I must know what is going on in other political parties. Okay. I must know.
It's okay.
Time suits you when you are the one having an upper hand. Look at when the man said the national chairman should go and the commissioner. I agree. If they go, who appoints again? Who will appoint? Who will appoint? It's not the same president. So why are you play to the gallery? If you say national commissioners resign, national chairman resign, they have resigned now, for example. Can you appoint? You have the power to appoint. You were Senate president. All you would have done, as at that time you were there, Watamba, who was speaker, you would have amended the constitution to make sure the president is not the one who will appoint. So what is all this hula balu? What is all this shouting? You know the removal of the chairman and commissioner provided in the constitution. You do something that you don't see is not going to work. You don't come out and let people say, oh, he has said it. Said what? It means what? What's the effect? Let it be that you have said something. Once you said something that has no effect, I mean, that stage you should pass in life. So tell David Mark, when he was given the opportunity to conduct a transparent election, he didn't do it. He manipulated the system. Today, he's not shouting about non-transparent system but manipulation. Haba, haba, haba.
The Honorable Minister.
Yes, what was that?
Issues that he raised. You're beyond the FCT minister, you're a national figure, and across the country there are concerns about kidnapping, banditry. We've had recent situations in other states. How open are you to speak to the concerns that are being raised on a daily, that we have economic issues on one hand, and then security is something that people feel like it's not working enough? And then we had the president go to Jos the other day to commiserate with the people, and then there's this video playing around that he was in a hurry to leave. And then people are saying, is that enough commiseration, or he just wanted to show his face there?
You know the problem I don't like in this country? We live issues and face trivialities. Until president sleeps with those who lost, until you sleep with them in the same bed. That's only when you know that he has commiserated with them. Until he goes to each one, family by family. That's only when you will know he has commiserated with them. Why do we play politics in everything? Mr. President was to go somewhere because of his concern for what has happened in Plateau. He cancelled it. This is more important to me. Is that not enough to show that look, he means well? He did not only say I will go, he went there. And in fact, I was watching channels this morning. I was so taken aback. Two ladies were saying, how could you have gone there? You just left. And then people, passengers who were traveling, they were suffering, all kinds of things. You know, I feel so bad. Assuming, have you seen where, take for example, the president of America or whoever comes here, for example, do you know 10 kilometers of this area, nobody will be around? Do you know that? Do you remember when Prof.Mgbeke came here? Nobody stayed in Hilton. You know that. Why would you not stay in Hilton because the president came? If it was the president, oh, how can he be president? And then they go and shut down Hilton. Do you know what it means? The man had left Abuja, went to commiserate with the people. I said, look, security provided that, look, if you go into the city, it will be a lot of chaos. You know, presidential movement. Have you asked when you are flying, you're about to land, and they said you can't because of presidential movement? Do you know how you feel? Tell me the truth. Assume it is raining. There are thunderstorm. Pray you don't meet it that day. Why would you? But you know that is the rule. If the president is taking off or is landing for security reasons, you cannot. Why can't we appreciate things? Is it only when it has happened in our country we reduce the presidency to nothing? Who does that? He has come. He has met with the traditional rulers. He has met with families that lost their lives. He has told them, listen, no amount of money I give you here can bring back those their beloved ones, our beloved ones. I feel for it. I'm concerned about it. But I can assure you, we are doing everything possible to see that this is put to a stop. And in doing that, I've ordered social things to be put in place to to make sure this thing does not reoccur. We are not happy until he sleeps with each of the families in their houses. That's only when you will feel that he sympathizes with them. What kind of country is this? That we will not trivialize issues. If he did not go, you will complain. Okay, when he went to Benue to come and stay with the people, why did you not say, why didn't you sleep there? Why did you not say, why should you come back that same day? That's no, you see, I have told you, what is important is not me assuming now. Yes, just for the optics, I'm going to compensate. If I go to compensate and I'm not putting anything down to see the thing does not work, my going there doesn't make any sense. What is more important is, President, is he concerned? What has he done to see that this banditry, insecurity is put to a stop? And nobody in this country can say that Mr. President is not doing all he can to see that this insecurity is reduced to the minimum level. But whether you have achieved all may not be there, but whether he has been doing something, are there achievements? Yes. And what people must know all over the world, fighting terrorism is not an easy thing. You don't know them. A terrorist can be amongst you here. You don't know. Terrorism is not about armed robbers alone. It's not about I'm coming.
Yeah, so I just want to, as somebody who's concerned about the president, winning re-election, security is probably one of the sour points for him. As somebody who once sat in the saddle as a governor, do you think
somebody who did what?
Who once sat in the saddle as a state governor?
Yes.
Do you think the state governors are doing enough? After all, they are getting more money in their pocket.
I don't want to go into
security is the primary responsibility
I don't want to go there.
Why not?
Let me tell you why. That's why I say in this country, the moment you say something, it's not people to say, look, what he said, did it make sense? Yes. Why should it be? Why don't I say it? You have all kinds of things. You speak your opinion, your mind. It's turned to a different thing. You saw somebody send text. Why did he send it? Because I said, and which is not correct, debunk it what I said. What I said was that these people who are shouting that this government or the ruling government is trying to kill opposition. You don't understand what I'm saying? That it is not correct. But assuming it is even correct, you that is shouting, you were doing it. And you were doing it to make sure PDP was dead as a social time by using social person. And then you. That was the essence of sending that text. Look, if we must tell ourselves the truth, it's very clear. And anybody should also praise the president all the time. Governors have come out to say money has been made available much more than what it used to be. It is not in dispute. I'm not here to say Governor State A has done this, State B has not done that. I'm not here to compare. But the point I'm making is that we still need more to be done. You see, security is a serious issue. And I believe it is not about the president. It's not about president. President, yes, is the chief, is the commander-in-chief, is the head of security, but he does not preside over Plateau. He does not preside over Kano. He does not preside over Rivers. He does not preside over Sokoto. We have people who preside over the affairs of those areas. Therefore, more is needed. You see, there are times we will concentrate. Take for example now, if I say that somebody in security in that city, first of all, my business would be to give that as a priority more than any other thing, as a priority. So if I look at, I'm not saying you don't have one crime or the other in FCT, not this one. But if I say people have started to do that, so much insecurity in the time we came, there was so much insecurity in Rivers, in the FCT. And people were asking, I said, just give us 1 or 2 months. You will see a different thing. I went to the various communities, to all the area councils, and I sat them with everybody. I said, look, what actually is the problem? This kidnapping here, banditry here. They said, look, sir, in Buhari, see where they are coming from. But it's unfortunate. No road, nothing to access. So when they come, they pick you. There's no way we can move after them. That's okay. So what do we do now? This is if we can construct this road. Look at this area, we don't have security posts. What do? We need more security posts, right? Now, you have tried to, those who are there, who actually feel the impact, they are telling you, if we can put this in place, we think the level of banditry, kidnapping in this area will be minimized. And we did that, right? There's no area council today who have not been able to put 3 or 4 additional security outfits. So the point I'm making is that I'm not their principal, but all I'm saying is that President has taken security issue as a priority. You know, the problem is that what you don't know is that insecurity, you don't like seeing road. You understand me? As we are fighting now in Plateau, look at our security agencies, the military, the Navy, the SSL, police are being killed. Who likes it? But they are being killed because of trying to protect us, trying to safeguard us. We must give them, first of all, kudos to say, look, they are committed in fighting this. But not every day will come. Look at the issue of insecurity. Are you saying that nothing has been done that you can appreciate? It's not. Sorry, we are